Okay, so we're just going to look at what this is all about and how we're going to use this over the next few weeks to learn about coding. So we're going to create a new project. It'll be our single view application. That's the one we'll use most of the time. And we'll just call this one Story. Make sure Swift is selected as a language and for the iPhone. And we'll just create it. We'll save it on the desktop. And over on this right side, we don't need to worry about that. We have our information. If we click on StoryBoard, it'll come up on our central window. We'll click this little button to hide the documents outline, and we'll shrink it down. And basically what we've got here is our first screen of our app. So what we might want to do is put in a label and just drag that here, and we will call this first page. And over here is where we get all the things we can put into our storyboard. So view controllers are like pages. We've got navigation controllers, you've got split view controllers, you've got a whole bunch of options here from labels, buttons, multiple buttons, text fields. We've got heaps of information here that we can put in, and we'll look at some of those as we go along. So let's stick in another page. So to stick in another page, we've got to stick in another view controller. That's the one we want. Oh, that didn't come up first up. There we go. There's our second page, and we'll put in our third page as well. And we might stick in another page that comes off that second view controller. So we might be doing an app that has multiple links. So this might be the menu for a restaurant. So our first page, we need some buttons in there. So if you type down button, the types of buttons available will come up, and we'll put in, if you drag and it just disappears, it means your view controller is not selected. If you double click on it, you'll have the view controller selected, and then you can drop items into it. So we might put in mains, and we'll drag off that. Now the way we do our segue is we click on the button, hold down Control, and drag to the page we want to show, and then hit Action Segue Show. And that just allows you to segue between those. We might put in another button here which says, what do we want to say? We'll call them beef main courses. And off here, Control, click, drag to our other window, show. And that will link in to that one. We might have on our front page drinks, and we'll link down to this page here by Control, click, and drag, show. Now we need to, at the moment, this is a blank page, so you might want to put something in there like a label. Our heading. Double clicking on it allows you to change the name, drinks, and you might put in several labels here. So you've got soft, and we might want some more text here. So we can put in what's known as a text view and drag that in here. And it will give you options to dump a whole lot of information, but we might just want to put in Coke. Oops, you can't just hit return, you need to hit Control return. Let's say Pepsi and Fanta as our soft drink options. Now, what we need to be able to do is to go back from our things, so we can go back. Oops, so we want a button to go back, so we bring up our button. We'll call that the back, double click on it. Control drag, creates our segue back. We also need a button to go back here. back, control drag to our first, and another one here, back, control drag, and here we might have more text about the types of meat that are available. So we've got beef, and you've got great meat, whatever you want to write. And you can also stick in images. We go image view, you can drop that in. Now nothing will actually appear here. You need to add in the file, the picture, before you can drag and drop it in. And if you want to know how to do that, go to adding image video. But the purpose of this was just to kind of show you how we can get this storyboard looking like a bit of a flow chart of what we want our app to look like. This little arrow tells us this is where our app starts on the first page, and then we've got two options, and we've got another option off that first page. If we run it, click the play button, it will build the app and then hopefully load that first page. Okay, so there's our first page. We can go to our mains. We've got beef, and there are the types of beef. We don't have information about it. We'll go back and go to our drinks, and we've got our soft drinks. So you can see how you can really quickly create an app which navigates through a whole lot of different information, pictures, buttons, without really any coding. And that's the big advantage of Xcode. You have this very interactive and easy to follow flowchart. And you can see that the arrows go to and from things. When you click on the arrow, it will show you which button is linked to that segue. So going back, it's this back button here. And you can change those around and manipulate them. But it allows you to lay out the storyboard for you. And what we're going to be using is a whole bunch of view controllers that have been pre-programmed, so you can drag and drop in accessing the camera, Google Maps, a whole bunch of various options you'll be able to just copy and paste into your app depending on what you want. Later in the course we'll go through how you can actually code these up, but that'll be a little further down the track. So that's a basic overview of the storyboard and how we're going to use this to very quickly make apps that can look how we wish.